Hello, my love. It is Colette Gallagher with Rich Girls Inc., and we are creating rich and manifesting powerfully. And I want to talk about manifesting because it's one of my favorite topics. I freaking love how magical the universe is and how easy it is to manifest anything that you want. If you're not familiar with manifesting, all it is allowing things to show up in your life that you want to show up in your life. So if you're new to manifesting and you're kind of wondering if it really works or not, or if it seems like super woo-woo and you're like, oh, that sounds weird or whatever, here are 3 easy things that you can start to manifest and start practicing with, so that once you get really good at these 3 things, you can start manifesting bigger things because you'll have that belief and of the power within you. So the first thing that's super easy to manifest is numbers. So, like repeating numbers, like 111, 1111, 222, 333. Some people call them angel numbers, and you can look up the meanings if you want and see if they correspond to anything when you see the numbers. But besides that, just start paying attention and seeing if you see repeating numbers. And if you're just brand new to manifesting, here's what you do. You think about something. So if I want to see repeating numbers, let's see, I want to see 1111 or I want to see 222. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to start to become aware of repeating numbers and I'm going to notice them. And you think about it and you become curious and then you let it go and you forget about it. Because when you start thinking really hard, a lot of times what happens is you start thinking about the fact that you don't see them. And when you start thinking about how you don't see something or how you don't have something, that's what's going to happen. You're not going to have it. So you just get curious about it. Like, I wonder if I can see repeating numbers. I wonder if I can see 1111. I wonder if I could see 222. I wonder if I'll start to notice these things around me. And then you forget about it and you go about your day. And usually within 24 hours, it'll show up. And that's how you know you're doing it right. And usually it's within even it could be instantly, it could be within a couple hours, but usually it's within a day. And if 3 days go by and you haven't seen it, that means that you're either thinking about it too much, and in thinking about it too much, you're thinking about how you're not seeing it, which is making you not see it, or that's usually the case. Or you're just not paying attention. Like maybe you're in a place that just there's no clocks or something like that. But I see repeating numbers all the time. I'll see them in my phone, I'll see them on my clocks, I'll see them on license plates, I'll see them on buildings, and I'll notice them all day. So the second thing that's easy to manifest are songs. And so maybe you can think of even kind of an obscure song where you're like, oh wow, I would love to hear this song. And so you think about it and you're like, oh, that would be super cool. Not like, oh, wow, I have to hear this song. Or man, I miss this song. I wish there was I wish there was a way. And, just if you're holding on to it too much, that kind of blocks the flow. And so you just think about the song, whatever it is, and maybe you sing it in your head a little bit and you're like, man, that'd be a cool song to hear. And you think about it and then you let it go. And you stop thinking about it. And you don't worry about how you're going to hear it. You don't start playing with the radio stations. You don't start to try to make it happen. You don't go out of your way to put yourself in the situation for it to happen, because all of that is blocking flow. So you allow. And the way you allow is by forgetting about it and just going about your day. And again, you'll probably hear that song within the next couple days. And this could be the most obscure song ever. And I was thinking of this random church song one day, and I heard it that night. And again, I didn't like try to hear that song. I pretty much forgot about it, but there's nothing on the radio on the stations I usually listen to. And again, I'd forgotten like I even wanted to hear this song. But I like started scanning the stations, and there was a new radio station, and it wasn't playing on that, but it was a new station. And so I was like, oh, that's weird. What station is this? And so I left it on that station. And the next song that came on was this random obscure song that I had been thinking about. And then the third thing that's pretty easy to manifest is contacting people. And so what I'll do is like, I'll just randomly start thinking about somebody. And maybe it's them thinking about me too, or maybe me thinking about them. But either way, one of us will start thinking about the other person. And within like a couple hours or maybe even a few minutes, and depending on how much thought each of you are thinking about it, you'll probably either get a text or a phone call from that person, or an email or something, Facebook message, some type of communication from that person. And again, depending on how the connection is with you two, I've had this happen with somebody that I hadn't heard from in 10 years, where I was thinking about them and they actually messaged me within like a day, but I didn't get the message for like a week. So, but this happens a lot with my really close friends and family. When I think about them, they'll text me like within an hour. So those are 3 easy things that if you're brand new to manifesting and you're not sure how to get started or how to build up and start manifesting, these are 3 easy ways you can start to practice, because they're not a big deal, right? If you don't hear the song, it's not the end of the world. If you don't start seeing the numbers, it's not a big deal. And if you don't hear from the person, it's not a big deal. And that's why it works. Because if you're trying to hear from, let's say, an ex that you really, really miss, well, what you're thinking about is how they're not in your life and how you're not hearing from them, and you're wanting to hear from them and you're not hearing from them. So you're not going to hear from them, probably, because what you're thinking about and what you're vibrating and what you're feeling is the lack of them, which is why it's way harder to manifest stuff that you want but you feel is lacking, because you're wanting it, but by wanting it, you're actually vibrating and feeling and thinking about how you don't have it. And by doing that, it blocks the flow. So hopefully that helps you get started with manifesting. And then again, after you realize that you can start manifesting these things easily, you can move on to the stuff that you that's a little bit more challenging. But again, it's not any harder to manifest someone calling you or seeing numbers as it is to manifest your dream job or your dream house or whatever it is. It's all the same to the universe, but it's how you feel about the thing that you're trying to manifest. And the less lack you can feel by getting super curious and forgetting about how you want it, because that feeling of wanting something is actually feeling of lack, of not having. So it actually blocks it from coming to you. And so get used to that feeling of, it's all good. It's all good. This would be really cool if this happened, but if it doesn't, it's all good. And that's when the magic happens. And that's when manifesting becomes super easy. So keep creating rich and manifesting powerfully, and I'll talk to you soon.